So I'm the Chief Medical Officer at Meritus Health, and I'm a family physician by training. Part of my training is working with patients, with families, and actually with communities too. And so one of the major components of my education, my training, and the work I've done has been focused on population and community-based health. And so when you think about health, it's either visit by visit or community by community. And there's been no time like the last year to be prepared to take care of populations and communities for sure. So I think that one of the things that brought me to this place in life and this position has been connection. I was raised in this community, I know the people in this town, and when I finished my medical education and returned here, caring for people felt very natural. And so reconnecting with the physicians, with the caregivers, and the people of this community made sense to me. And so at every step of the way, when I've had an opportunity to step into a role to care for patients, either one by one or as a whole, I've really taken that in earnest. I really care about this community. I think the people are wonderful. We're diverse. We have an incredible history. There are ties and connections, and every time I meet with a patient, I think I learn just a little bit more about some of those histories. And it just makes it that much more rich to live here and see this community grow and flourish. So in terms of obstacles, I don't think any of us could have anticipated the number that we've faced this year. And I would say that the way we got through it is as a team. Now it's interesting, in the world of medicine, we often talk on a global scale. So we say, look big, look outside. And this was a year when it came to obstacles, they were local. We had to address issues here in person, and it took every member of the team going the extra mile to do it, and we've been able to overcome them without question. If you ask me what makes me stand out, I think that there's two things that I've lived by, and that is I want to kill them with kindness, but overwhelm them with energy. And so I think I come into work every day, I want to give the best that I have for the people around me, and I think that if I maintain those two principles, I'm kind and energetic, I think that helps me to do my best every single day. When I found that I was nominated for Young Professional of the Year, it took me a second to think about it, because we don't normally think of healthcare as a business. We think about this as an opportunity to care for patients. And I really reframed things and realized that we're in the business of taking care of our community, and that's at every level. If I were named Young Professional of the Year, this would be a testament to our team, there's no question. I think that looking back over this year, the reason that I'm chosen is because I was a part of this large team responding to an unexpected epidemic. And I feel fortunate to be recognized for this, but certainly if I were chosen, it would be all about our team.
Oh, what's that? Oh, you ready? Okay.
I grew up here in Hagerstown. I was born here, went to high school here, came back after college. So I think a lot of my expertise that makes me a young professional and an effective one is to really have that connection to the community. I grew up here, so I'm familiar with the area, but I've seen how it's changed over the years too, and I feel like I have a strong connection to what some of the needs can be and how they've shifted. Growing up here, I sort of thought, all right, I'm leaving this town in the dust someday, going to college, move into a bigger city, and probably won't come back. Love my family here, but for me, it never felt like it was the right fit. And seeing it shift throughout the years too, coming back after college, I thought, all right, what's next? What am I gonna do? So I hunkered down and got a job in the creative field, doing a lot of video editing stuff, and found that I really shined when I made a lot of the connections in the business and nonprofit community. So working at the Chamber of Commerce shortly after the TV station, and now with the Community Foundation of Washington County, it's been such a cool way to transform some of my talents and see how that can really give back in a tangible way. Taking that leap to get involved in the nonprofit world was a huge risk for me. It was scary, you feel like you don't know how a lot of the inner workings of organizations have to run. But for me, when I accepted a role of president of a nonprofit, Children in Need, that changed my life. It really showed me how you can connect business with nonprofit worlds, how you can really inspire others to get back and become volunteers. In particular, I would say the most proud was when I really put my services to use with Hagerstown Hopes and really connected with a lot of the LGBTQ+ youth. Maybe a big part of the reason I never connected is that I never knew how to give back and be my authentic self. And so now, getting into a position that I have now, I'm able to connect with people that were maybe the old version of me and saying, hey, it's all right to be yourself. It's okay to step back and assess how you can really give back to others. March 2020, I started the Washington County Takeout and Delivery Facebook group to support local restaurants when everything was so up in the air, Specials really needed to be promoted. There were different rules to getting carry out and things like that. So I worked with so many new organizations that really sent me their appreciation, and that taught me a whole new lesson on the power of marketing and branding and getting out there. But I've worked with several through my years. I've worked with Children in Need Washington County, Habitat for Humanity, Hagerstown Hopes, which is our local LGBTQ+ support organization. I've worked with local churches, local charities, and now my new role, my current role at the Community Foundation, we're really the connector between philanthropy and our local nonprofits. So now the sky is really the limit when it comes to the different nonprofits here in Washington County that I have direct correspondence with and can create real change with. If I were named Young Professional of the Year, it would tell me loud and clearly that my voice matters. It would mean pretty clearly that me creating change is being reciprocated, and maybe it's touching other people's lives too. It's reminding people that young professional doesn't necessarily mean that you're in a certain tax bracket or that you drive a certain kind of car. It means that you have a voice and you have the ability to create change and to call out indiscrepancies, to call out indifferences, and push this county forward in a positive way. That's not about what's on your paycheck.
So I majored in astrophysics in college, and that was my goal, to go work for NASA. And then unfortunately I got sick really badly in college, so I transitioned into a job at a gas station to pay for medical treatment. And one of my friends was actually volunteering here at the time and told me about a job opening. So I applied as the assistant to the executive director at the time. And then over the course of the last 8 years, I just did a lot of professional development, a lot of research into this industry, and I just learned as much as possible as I could and worked my way up to the executive director. One of my favorite parts about working at Discovery Station as the executive director is interacting with the children that come through here. They're like sponges. They have this thirst for knowledge, and you get to see that and kind of have an impact on them. So it's really cool to be able to see the progress that you're making in the community each day. I contracted a tick-borne disease known as babesia that's pretty rare, as well as Lyme disease, and it's significantly impacted my quality of life. So for the last decade, I've been a tick-borne disease advocate, so I try to work with Congress to get legislation passed to help cover the medical costs for Lyme patients. I very much believe in being a hope breather. That's one of the values that I have. I think that everybody should live their life to try to improve the lives of others, and to do that, you have to breathe hope into other people's lives. So I also wholeheartedly believe that every child is just one caring adult away from being a success story. So I try to intertwine that into the day-to-day here at the museum. I really care about this community. I care a lot about the children that we serve. So I have a big passion for the museum industry as well as childhood education, and I take that passion and kind of utilize that in everything that I do. If I was named Young Professional, I would be so honored, because there's so many other people in this community of my age bracket that are doing great work, and it's just an incredible honor to be named alongside of them.